Merry Christmas, my fellow readers, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, happy whatever you do celebrate. And if you don't do anything at all, happy Sunday. I am Mona Lisa, and welcome to my channel, Mona Lisa Reads. And I was tagged by my friend Bookish Chaz to do a Christmas Carol tag. So let's go ahead and get started. Typical intro for me, right? But my calculations, I've only had one video where I don't mention Bookish Chaz by name in a video. One of these days, I'll have a string of videos that don't, but, you know, he tagged me in this, so I kind of got to mention him. And I don't remember offhand who the original person was that created this tag, but I'll put them in the description below as well. And I have decided to move my videos to Sunday, so when I was tagged in this a few days ago, I'm like, perfect, a Christmas Carol tag on Christmas. And then next week it works out to do my 2023 goals next week because it's end of the year. So it really did work out perfectly. So I'm going to be doing this tag, and let's just get started now that I've babbled. The first prompt is The Ghost of Christmas Past, and that is for a book that was a childhood favorite. And so, like, when I was super young, I actually bought a copy of this recently for any kids that come into our home, and that would be The Monster at the End of the Book. Who has not seen this book? I loved this book. I'm not and never was a huge Sesame Street fan. I was more like Mr. Rogers. But this book I just loved. I loved how Grover would freak out. And, yeah, I'm not going to give away the ending. But this was always a fun favorite. Another favorite of mine was Little Women. And that was a book, as I mentioned before, given to me by a sweet lady in the church I grew up in. And, yeah, so The Monster at the End of the Book and Little Women. Perfect combination, right? Okay, so if I look like I'm reading while I'm talking and giving these prompts, it's because I am, because I have the page right in front of me. So the next one is The Ghost of Christmas Present. Recent book I think will become one of my all-time favorites. Hands down, this year has to be Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Absolutely loved that book. Killed me when I couldn't get my hands on Royal Assassin or Assassin's Quest. And I just have to give a huge shout out to Danielle over at Book Cara. She sent me 2 of her extra copies. And so now in January, I'm able to continue the saga of Fritz and the whole thing in the Farseer trilogy. But man, Danielle, thank you. So I can't express to you how happy and excited and thankful I am for your kind gift after just us talking one time. But as far as Assassin's Apprentice goes, it was a slow burn, but it was such a good slow burn. And I heard that Robin Hobb's writing only gets better, and that a lot of people like the Live Ship Traders books are better than the Farseer trilogy. So I can't even imagine. Assassin's Apprentice was just one of those great slow burns, and you're like rooting for Fritz, and there's some mystery, and there's political stuff going on, and it had twists that I wasn't expecting. So it was just everything I loved in a book. So Assassin's Apprentice, hands down, favorite book this year. I have one that I'm reading right now that I think is going to be my second favorite for the year, and definitely up there as one of my all-time favorites, but you have to go check out next week to see if it happened or not. So, next prompt. The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, a book coming out next year that I'm excited about. No idea. I'm going to tell you right now, and I maybe in future years will get better about this, but I'm not one who tends to look at books coming out in the following year. There's so many books in the past that I want to get to that I'm just trying to catch up on those. I'm sure I'll be watching other booktubers that share books that they're excited about. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a good one. Add it to the never-ending TBR. But right now, I don't know any books that are coming out next year, so it's a total bust on this question. Sorry. Next one, Bah Humbug. A book that everybody else loves that I just can't stand. Right now, probably the biggest one I can think of is Ocean at the End of the Lane. That book is a complete flop for me. I've mentioned it before, so I'm not gonna, go over it again, but so many people love that book, and I don't get it. But, so, Ocean at the End of the Lane. Number 5, Bob Cratchit. An old, dependable you always recommend. This is kind of hard for me because it depends on the genre and what the person's wanting. If you want a good mystery, I always say Agatha Christie's and Then There Were None. 10 people on an island and they all die. How does that happen? That's always a good one. If you want like a nice, cozy classic, I'm going to tell you Little Women. If you want a fun middle grade book, I would say you've got the Ink Spell and Ink Heart and Ink Death. I forget what the series is called. But these books right here, I don't hear a lot of people talk about them, but I think they're great middle grade books. And the story's a lot of fun. So I would say, what's the series called? I don't know. I'm putting it down here. I think that's great for any kids who want something different. If you want some marriage advice stuff, I always recommend. It was written by this lady here because I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but she wrote a book called For Women Only and a book for men only. The For Women Only book she did studies about men and kind of how they think and what's important to them and all sorts of stuff, talked to lots of women, and wrote a book about it. And then that was such a hit, the men were going like, we would love to have a book about women and like our wives and partners. And so they did that. And so the book is all about women and what we think and how we process information. So if you're wanting to understand your partner, your spouse better, there you go. These are 2 amazing books. Another suggestion with these would be, I read the book about women. So for men only, I read that and I wrote notes like, yes, totally agree, or like, yes, but I disagree here, or this is not me at all. And then husband did the same about him and we switched the book. So when we read the book about each other, we had like personal comments from the other person in it so that we could better understand each other. So love those books. Cannot, if you want to strengthen your relationship, without a doubt, these are amazing books. That's my opinion. Do with it what you want, but those are a few of my recommendations of different books for different genres. Next is Tiny Tim, an underhyped book you think deserves more love. I'm going to go out and say, where is it? Give me a second. I have never heard anybody talk about C.J. Archer. I was looking for a free book on Hoopla, came across this and listened to it. This is the first book in the Glass and Steel series, and it's basically a woman has special abilities, and it's kind of a secret from the world, yet there's a society of people that know about all these different special abilities, and it's a mystery. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But I forget, there's like 8 or 9 books so far. This is the only one I have physically, but I've listened to them as audiobooks with my husband, and I really enjoy them. And I've listened to I listened to the first book in another series, and it was like a romance thing, and it wasn't totally predictable for me. But that's beside the point. Okay, the editing on this section is going to be so weird, and I'm so sorry, but I'm trying to explain this, and I'm doing absolutely horrible. So, India Steele is the watchmaker's daughter. Dad has passed away. fiance has taken over her dad's watchmaking, watch fixing business, and so now she's unemployed because this takes like 1800s or early 1900s, and so she's kind of trying to figure out what to do. And then there's this guy named Matthew Glass, and he has his own mystery, and I'm not going to give any of that away, so you can figure it out on your own. But he's American, she's British. He comes with a group of people from the Wild West, and they're just kind of fun and different and go up against British society. Like, it rubs a lot of the British wrong, and there's a mystery involved, and they solve it together. And then the ongoing books involves more mysteries, especially trying to resolve the mystery for Matthew Glass. And I've enjoyed the series, and I've not heard one person talk about this book or the series. So I think it's underhyped. I think it's a lot of fun. It's not any major heavy reading, but it's a good story. You know, there's a little bit of romance between India and Matthew. There's a kooky aunt. There's all these crazy characters in their lives. It involves some magic, and it's not just with watches. So, an underhyped book, The Watchmaker's Daughter, along with the whole Glass and Steel series by C.J. Archer. Okay, let's see, number 7. Today! Why, it's Christmas! Yes, it is. What's a book that always gets you in the mood for Christmas? Would you believe that this year's the first year where I've been really intentional about reading Christmas books or winter books in the winter? I have read A Christmas Carol, so that will always do, but I don't really have like books that I look forward to every winter to read. I don't know why I've never done it. Just I don't think I really thought about it until I started watching BookTube. I'm like, oh, read books involving the seasons in the season. Oh no. So I've never really done it. A Christmas Carol, always good. I enjoy that. But I don't really have any other books. All the books I have been reading this season do have wintry feels. So right now I'm reading one that I think might be, but I'm not positive, so I can't say definitively. So I'm going to do what Chaz did and mention a movie. He didn't mean to, but he did, so I'm going to do it. I know it's Christmas time when I watch A White Christmas. My mom, along with some really good family friends, one year watched it together, and it became a yearly thing that we did. Every Christmas, we'd wear pajamas, eat food, sing along with all the songs, and I'm gonna cry because we haven't done it in years and I miss them. But every year on Facebook, and there were like 3 different families, and so like one will post on there thinking of you guys, or it's that time of year, and then all of us start commenting, and then another person will comment, post a picture of the video of the movie, and we'll all comment. And I'm still trying to get all of us like to meet in the middle because we're kind of spread out, to meet in the middle of the country when Christmas, and we can do all this Christmas stuff. We haven't been together since my wedding in 2011. So it'd be really great to have everybody together again. But White Christmas, always, like, that tells me it's Christmas and mood for the Christmas and all that. So, yeah, that's what I got. Okay, the last prompt is 8. The Muppet Christmas Carol. My favorite film adaptation of a book. Which is interesting, because I usually don't like movies better than the books. But here's the one exception. The one exception, and this is my favorite film adaptation of a book anyways, A Princess Bride. I read the book, so disappointed in the book. Absolutely love the movie. I mean, come on. Iconic characters in it, the lines in there. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Inconceivable. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. I could go on. Have fun storming the castle. I just love this movie. Now I need to watch it. I'm gonna have to watch in the next week. So that is my. I keep banging this. I'm sorry. It's gonna be such a wacky video. But that's my favorite film adaptation of a book. Yeah, that was good. So I keep trying to end this video, and it's just, I don't know why today I can't end this video, but I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, is that still happening? I'm not sure. If nothing else, have a happy Sunday. I am planning on putting out my goals for 2023 and some of my favorites of this year out next week, so be looking for that. And tell me in the description below what your favorite Christmas present you got this year was. And as always, thank you so much for spending some time for me, especially if you're watching this on Christmas, because I know you could be doing different things. You could be opening your Christmas presents, enjoying your Christmas presents, eating Christmas dinner, watching a movie. So thank you for spending a little bit of time with me here today. I really do appreciate it. And as always, go enjoy a good book.